Town sends out, notices every 3 years that it's time for your inspection. There's a system in place in the town. I don't think if there's 3 lots, it's going to be a town system to inform you it's time to check your infiltration system.
I think it's actually an extra check that they are notified if something goes wrong, because then you have somebody else besides the building official looking at that.
Yeah, who's going to do that is my question.
I would guess the neighbor downhill from us might point out.
But whether it was owned by them or not, the same thing would occur. If I owned that piece of property and my neighbor was getting flooded out, the same process would happen. It's
So
really
wait till
no
there's a
different.
crisis before.
Well, no, but your question applies to
Generally.
any application before planning or zoning, if they come to permitting, that has as part of their plan drainage. Now, and just as a backdrop, not every building permit that gets issued comes before these planning or zoning. And those homeowners have to maintain drainage on their property. They can't impact properties downstream from that. I mean, those properties don't even have a maintenance plan in place. We've, as part of custom, when looking at these plans, on any plan that comes before this commission, I've asked applicants to put together a drainage plan, whether it's a rain garden or detention or infiltration, whatever it may be. And I've recommended that it be recorded with the decision, so the homeowner, when they buy the property, it's part of the title records. So this isn't any different than any other application that comes before this commission.
But that when it transfers hands, you still have the same entity. So I think it's actually a better situation.
You end up with 2 people.
Well, you do. You end up with a lessee, and you also end up with Church Community Housing as the owner,
Right.
where the town determined there was a violation or received a complaint from a neighbor, and determined that it was a violation of any conditions or requirements that you put on the plan. Then the enforcement officer go and take the proper actions. I presume he may contact the lessee, but he would also contact the Church Community Housing.
I thought I heard, did you say, Mike, that there was a maintenance agreement that could be put together for this drainage system?
Well, there's one outline down the plan itself.
Yeah, I basically tried to outline on the plan, proposed site plan, what steps would need to be done, when, and so forth, as part of maintenance and inspections.
Are there companies that do that similar to the people that inspect that wastewater treatment?
I don't think there's not a big demand for it yet. Maybe something I may start tomorrow. No, I think it's something an engineer or somebody that's qualified can take a look at it, things like that. But as a business entity, I don't think it would be like a business that I'm aware of. If there's anybody that would just maintain these systems. I'm trying to think, and I apologize, when you do like commercial sites, DEM has a department, underground injection control, and I'm trying to think of how they work it. They deal mostly with commercial, industrial type of systems and things like that. A lot of them include infiltration systems and so forth. They want you to come up with a maintenance plan. But I'm not sure what happens after that, to be honest with you. I try to look into it a little bit, find out who gets responsible.
Is this maintenance plan more than just cleaning gutters and cleaning out a hole? There's cover we pull up, there's junk in here to take out, right?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with these infiltration units is that if siltation and junk gets in them, it won't infiltrate into the ground, so they're going to be cleaned out. If in 30 years too much silt develops underneath there, it won't infiltrate in. They may have to be replaced. And I look at it as it's similar to like your furnace. Do you need a maintenance plan for your furnace? For your electrical system? It's another component of the house. To say that you're going to start putting restriction to somebody that's responsible to say, hey, your furnace isn't working?
Well, it's slightly different than a heating
Yeah.
system, because what we're talking about is we're talking about, and again, it's just conversation, as has been pointed out, but we're talking about substandard lots, granting substandard lots, and creating, drainage that is, I mean, the coverage is not so great that, we're not being asked to grant for excessive lot coverage, but we still have a substandard lot, so we have not as much area to accommodate the drainage. And I think that it's realistic to think about a registered solution. Maybe there is a deeded plan that goes every 2 years or something. I really don't think you're going to get, that system silting up just from my experience. I'm sure your experience is similar. Probably not going to silt up for several years. Don't know what the tree situation is there, whether or not you get a lot of leaves, but that can be prevented.
I was gonna say, maybe as a condition, we could put rain gutter, gutter element type of
I
things.
think it's something you should think about, and when you come back and have address the concern.
I get your concern, I just don't want the people on these houses to be treated different than everybody else.
The point I'm making, though, is and I have to disagree with White, when we look at subdivisions, there's going to be a homeowners association, there's sort of a tacit agreement if it's done right.
But this isn't a subdivision.
I know it
homeowners
isn't, so
association.
bear with me a second. But there's a mechanism in place, there's a homeowners association that kind of self-polices itself and looks out for its neighbors that way, and makes sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that knows about all these covenants.
But
Let me finish,
further,
please,
yeah.
let me finish, please. From a practical matter, there's a group of people that know, okay, for the septic tank thing that we have in town now, there's a notification system in place so that people know, I gotta do this, okay? What we're talking about here is there's going to be a written maintenance plan that gets filed in the town files, and nobody ever sees it again. Nobody ever knows about it. They do a title search, the lawyer says, oh yeah, there's a maintenance plan. When you're closing on your house, you got a stack of papers this high, you're signing. You see and read and know about that maintenance plan from a practical standpoint. What's going to let these people know that they have an obligation based on this thing from a practical matter, notification system that they have to do this maintenance? Because it's important. And I don't think that's treating them different. I'm just asking, if you had a clause in your lease that just said, hey, remember you got a maintenance plan, I'd be happy with that.
We actually do put those special provisions into the.
That's fine. I'm just saying,
They have
to be a mechanism to
Bridget agreed that it
inform.
would be in the lease, I think.
Yeah. Just a mechanism to inform the new owners that they have this obligation.
And you're gonna end up with two people
Yeah.
being responsible. And church as lessor will have enforcement authority in the town.
I mean, ignorance of the law is no excuse, but there's so
Well,
many
I kind of feel responsible for this because I think when Mike first came in and I spoke to our church community about it, I said one of my concerns was that the house on North Road, just to the west of it, has a deep cut in the bank where water could flow down. This property is fairly level with not much grade change, and so I said I was concerned about the houses being built that now have that land as kind of stormwater attenuation. And so that is why Mike has proposed the stormwater system. I mean, generally, the reason that we have a homeowners association generally is because we never, or very rarely, require drainage improvements unless there's a public road or a private road, in which case you actually have something, so stormwater, to attenuate the additional impervious coverage. And so that's why this is a bit of a different situation, is that when we have frontage lots, there are no improvements, and therefore there's no reason to require stormwater attenuation. So this was really just a response to my comment, and so I think that the process that they have in place, I'm assuming that it will work, so